Technical difficulties are the bane of my existence, but as a teacher, we have to prepare for the unexpected all the time and be willing to roll with it, be ready to roll with it. So, as I was saying, that we have some couple of things in common. They have supernatural forces. You're going to see a lot of that in Troy. Achilles with his heel. Remember the reason that his heel is vulnerable is because his mother dipped him in the river Styx when he was a baby and pulled him out of it, but she was holding his heel and that was never submerged. So that part of him remains mortal. And then they have a style of sustained elevation. So 10-year battle. It's a climax that never really climaxes. It just keeps going and going and going. So now's the portion where students would start to read the excerpts of the Trojan War and fill out a little graphic organizer about some of the character traits of Achilles, of Hector, of the location, various things like that. For the sake of time, we're not going to actually read about the Trojan War, but a brief overview was it was a battle, a famous poem by Homer, an epic that features a siege of the city of Troy for a decade long, and there's immense fighting and battles, and it finally comes to a close when the famous Trojan horse is brought into the city, and then the Trojans come out and occupy the city, take it over. So I did a little handy, see if you can see it in there. So some of the textbooks interchangeably use the Greek and Roman names for various gods and characters. So I made a little cheat sheet, a little translator. So if you see Jupiter, it means Zeus. If you see Minerva, it means Athena. Mercury, Hermes. Pluto, Hades. Neptune, Poseidon. So on and so forth. So that's on there too. I thought that would be just really handy to students. It's really hard to, I know these and I have a hard time going back and forth between which one's which. Oh, who's Minerva? Oh, that must be Athena. I just put it on there. It's on the slide so everybody can take a look at it. So these are the questions that I would have students just for discussion. They would focus on these. So, how long did the siege last? Who were the helpers to the Greeks? Who wrote the Iliad? You can see a little visual clue there. Who were the two greatest Greek warriors? Which warriors were killed during the Trojan War? So, they would read this now, and 15-minute timer might be a little bit ambitious. I think we would probably do it for probably a half hour, and I'd pace it every 10 minutes, and then we do like a little stop and chat, have some questions. So I would now have students, let's say we are finished the portion of our reading, they would now turn to each other and do a little think, pair, share, where they would talk about how long did the siege last. They could discuss among each other. This one's pretty obvious. It's just a simple factual question, but the siege lasted 10 years, and the stalemate only ended when the Trojan horse was brought in. Who were some of the helpers to the Greeks? This was sprinkled in throughout the epic, and this might require a little bit more rereading. They don't really jump out at you, but there's characters such as Ajax and Artemis and other warriors who sailed the Aegean Sea and came to Troy to help help the Greeks fight, and that follows along with the little organizer I had there that mentioned a wide scope and a long climax. Who wrote the Iliad? I'll put a little visual clue in there for you. Homer Simpson, Homer or Virgil is the Roman name, wrote the Iliad, and it is a very famous poem, often quoted, often referenced in pop culture. Sorry, I'm getting my words just tongue-tied today. So, who were the two greatest Greek warriors? Stop and discuss among yourselves. It's subjective. That is the most interesting part of all. But my personal take would be Homer, and it would